Attention, all levels are being evacuated. Repeat, evacuated. Make your way to the exits in an orderly...
Okay, cut. Tracy, hold there. Fiend Fatale is a horror adventure movie that I wrote that's based off of a feature film version of it. Basically, the story came about to where I was at a point to where I needed to do something to kind of kick us up to the next level, to kind of bring it up. We had done a really, really successful short film, 222, that had made the festival circuit and got a lot of interest with different studios and management companies and different things. We won some awards, and so I wanted to do something a little bit bigger to try to bring us up to the next level. And so I wrote a script where basically everything in mind was what I would want to see in a movie. I tried to think to myself, what would I want to watch? And really the answer was hot chicks and monsters. So I wrote the script Fiend Fatale, which is basically about in a world where things like vampires and werewolves actually existed at one point in time, but all went extinct to deforestation or getting killed off or whatnot. Current scientists have gone around the world and collected remains of these different creatures that they've found, that historians have kept, and they've found ways to clone them back to life. And what they do is they clone them back to life with the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, and use them for medical testing. So they find a vampire, a demon, a werewolf, a zombie, and a mermaid, and they clone these creatures into the bodies of hot 20-year-old girls. Who would argue with that? So basically our story takes place in modern day. The girls have been built in a lab, lived in the lab the past 20 years. They're all educated, they watch movies, they read comic books, they play video games, and hang out. They've just always lived underground. And then all of a sudden the lab is compromised by a terrorist attack. And then the girls end up trying to figure out how to escape. We have Alex, the werewolf, who hates living in the lab. She doesn't like being down there. She's always wanted to leave. She doesn't like being confined. She wants to get out. She wants to smell the night air. She wants to see the full moon. She's never been able to get out. And so she kind of ends up leading the other girls on this quest to escape the laboratory. I ended up partnering with two great friends of mine, Melissa Gruber and Randy Molnar, who the three of us do a lot of different producing projects here in the Central Florida area. And also we partner with Valencia College, who has a fantastic film program where we can bring the students out to learn on real-world sets and then in turn be able to have access to some of their equipment to help with our finances, because this was being done on a zero budget.
Well, what we do at Valencia, we try to give the students as a real-world experience as we can. So in that pursuit, we partner with industry on all of our productions, other than a few little in-house projects. What we look for is really fun opportunity for the students. And it helps if the students are interested in the story, and they were all over this piece. Our art department did an amazing job, and you'll see that.
All the girls' rooms were a lot of fun to help design. Andy Cyber, production designer, did a fantastic job with organizing how all the rooms looked. And we have our werewolf is very clean, kind of has an oriental kind of style to her room, where our demon is infatuated with video games, and her room's covered with posters and energy drinks and all different types of video game type stuff, where our vampire is the book nerd. She kind of reads a lot of books, and her room is very classical themed with the digital fireplace and library of all kinds of different things. Our mermaid has a room that's a gigantic tank, and it's CG, it's fully CG'd room, where we kind of interact between the green screen and the CG room with some props on set to kind of give her this huge environment that she can live in. And then our zombie, Shea, is infatuated with movies and television, has a big projection screen in her room, and has lots of movies and DVDs piled up everywhere. And literally her whole vocabulary is based off of movie quotes, because that's all she really knows. That's all she's really been taught. So the girls are a lot of fun. We found 5 fantastic actresses in town that really portray these characters and the look and the environment and the vibe that we want to put off for our ultimate goal of doing that in the feature.
It was very interesting working on Fiend Fatale in that we had a fair-size crew in what is pretty much a single enclosed location, which is pretty much like a warren of rooms. And to be able to accommodate the crew and cast, it really played well, because we had lots of office space for each of our individual departments, and green room for acting, and makeup and everything.
Trying on clothes in here, oh God.
We were really lucky to have a great partnership with Sanford, Florida. They're very film friendly, and we found a great location to be our underground CDC lab. And it was the old Sanford police station.
So the shoot took place over 4 days, shot 2.5 days inside this old police station in Sanford, Florida. Did the second half of the third day at another building that used to be a hospital where we shot our stairwell sequences. And then our fourth day we spent shooting underwater in a pool, and then also on a green screen soundstage, as well as doing all of our voiceover, all on our fourth day. So knocked everything out as the whole Mermaid day. With just our Mermaid. The whole project is based around a feature film script that's written. But to get a feature film financed in today's day and age is a little more difficult, especially one of a multi-million-dollar budget. So basically what we decided to do is we wanted to build a brand around this idea. So we came up with the idea to do a proof of concept short, which is a short film that we just produced. We're also building a comic book. We're gonna have a whole graphic novel that's gonna be a companion piece to the feature. With the way that comic books are blowing up the box office right now, it makes a lot of sense to get involved with that world. And I was a huge comic book fan anyway, read Spider-Man and X-Men and followed all of the Marvel Universe. So it's great to kind of fit these new modern elements in with classic comic book styles and things. So it's all part of the plan. We also have a video game app created where you can play as the girls and go through the laboratory and fight off terrorists and have a lot of fun while on your cell phone or computer. We also have, potentialities like sequel ideas, merchandising concepts, television series. If we're going to do a TV series or an animated TV series, trying to build a brand based off this concept and longevity. So we put these things together to try to make it more appealing to investors, and hopefully with everything we put together in our package, it will be. We'll be able to catch someone's eye and they'll be able to watch it and say, "Oh, this looks really awesome." As far as inspiration for the film, I am a big fan of horror. I'm trying to stick within the horror genre. I want to focus on that, but I also love action. I'm a really big Michael Bay fan, and I love the idea of these huge, bigger-than-life scenarios. With this short, the production value is off the chart. We have explosions, we have animals, we have green screen, we have underwater, we have wire work, we have squibs, we have special effects, we have visual effects, we have lots of makeup effects. All these different elements that go together in this story that make it look huge. Even though we had a minimal budget, very small budget, we could pull off all these things with the fantastic resources that we have.
Part of the uniqueness of it is the fact that we have adventure, we have monsters, we have girls, we have action, and we have a very interesting story. And we have superheroes who are female, which is a great concept. So when all of these things are added into the pot, we have something here that I feel is very unique.
We were fortunate to have, as a part of our crew, Barry Anderson, who is an effects makeup artist who's very, very talented. And we had to kind of coordinate with him, and then Jason Murphy, who's our post visual effects. So they work as a team where you're trying to achieve some things practical and others you have to do in post.
How hard is it to do like a yellow, like have her eyes slowly start turning yellow as she walks toward it? So one of the cool things in the script is that we have a werewolf. So of course werewolves transfer into wolves, change into wolves. So Andy Sipe, our production designer, and I went out to this wolf sanctuary that we have here in Apopka, Florida, and went wolf shopping. So we ended up with this huge, massive, like 95% wolf that was fantastic. Came out, it was like a big puppy dog, everybody got their photos with it, and we have this whole werewolf transformation in the short where our character Alex transforms into her wolf form to eat. And that was pretty crazy. The wolf looked like he was getting ready to bite your head off half the time, but it's really just a big puppy dog, so that was a lot of fun. One of the neat things that we got to do that we hadn't really done too much before is the explosions. We didn't have any pyrotechnics, we added all that in post, but we had a lot of visual debris cannons and things that we could use to help layer in those special effects later and still make it look practical, and also have people interact with the debris. Our script supervisor, Angie Bjorklund, volunteered heartily to be able to get blown up in the face by this debris cannon, and the shot's pretty insane. It kicks off our inciting action in the short. And then he fell to the ground. We all thought he was dead, like he didn't move. And he got up and he's kind of like, "Oh, dirt in my mouth," and spit all this dirt out everywhere that had all gone into his face and everything. But the shot looked fantastic, and luckily all of our script notes were also on the ball that day too, so it didn't affect anything with him. So the plan now is to take this project, take all of the elements that we've created, and show them to different executive producers, show them to studios, and then try to get our feature-based project built off of this. We have the plan, we have a schedule, we have a script, we have all these different elements put together, to showcase what we can do. And so now we want to show that to the right people and hopefully get someone who believes in us, and thinks that this is possible and that this can make money. And that's one of my big elements is I'm a commercial filmmaker. I want to make movies that make money, because if you make a movie that makes money, you get to keep making movies. So it makes a lot of sense to put together a project that you think will be commercially viable. And one of my goals was to make a summer popcorn film that's mixed with the horror genre. Because I want to stick in the horror genre as much as possible and stay within that, but then I also want to make commercial projects, spirit commercial projects. So if we can have a summer popcorn film that's a horror movie hidden within an action, exciting film, an action adventure, then I think we can get those worlds to mesh pretty well and give hopefully a broad audience what they would like to watch. You can follow a lot of the project, there's a Facebook page, and there's also a website, fiendfatale.com, where you can get a lot more info and see behind the scenes pictures and video clips and read the comic and do a bunch of different cool stuff on there to keep up with what's going on. And hopefully, after all this is said and done, we'll get some meetings going and get a feature built together off of it.
As a producer, you always meet a lot of great people in this business, and we've come to know a lot of great cast and crew over the years, and we felt very fortunate that some of those professionals that we'd worked with in the past were willing to give their time to helping us volunteer and come out and do the shoot. I think they were excited about it as we were and thought it was going to be a whole lot of fun, which I always say, if you're not having fun, why are you doing this? So I think that's it. They like working as a team, and so I want to just say to all the departments, I thought everybody did a first-class job, and to all the students, and we were just really fortunate and appreciate all their help.
And the period of time of principal photography, Stephen Shea, our producer and director, doesn't give himself all the credits that he should have, but he was everything on the development of this. He understands the filmmaking process from A to Z. It is not simply pre-production and principal photography, but rather a period of time of development, conceptualization, then pre-production, principal photography, and all the various elements of post-production, going all the way to distribution, and understanding that at the end of the day you have a product. Stephen understands that, and that's why this is a branding that will take place on this film.
It looks like a big time production, and a lot of it has to do with the where, the what, the where, and the who. And I think this ended up being a good combination in all those W's, and I think it's going to be a special film.
We have 62 people here. Let's get a person in every single room with a knife. If someone talks, they get shanked.